Hi guys, welcome to The Real Deal. Real people, real issues, real talk. And today we have back with us the OG Canna Mom, the mushroom maven, the founder of CBDforall.org, also known as Landon's mom from Team Landon. And in honor of Cannabis Awareness Month, we will be talking cannabis and cancer. And I can't even quite honestly believe that after all these years of educating that we are having to even touch on this topic still. It's a shame that so many people today suffer and think that the only thing that they have are the barbaric practices that have been around for years now: chemotherapy, radiation, and surgery, which there's plenty of documentation and plenty of survivors, me being one of them. I was diagnosed myself with cancer, thyroid cancer, 13 years ago, and I was sent home stage 4, and I was sent home with no hope to die. And that's when I kind of went full force with all of this. I'm still working on trying to get her on. So, growing pains, you all. Anyway, if you've ever been diagnosed with cancer, then you know how devastating it is to hear those words and what it does to your actual mind, body, and soul. And if you haven't heard or you haven't been diagnosed with cancer yet, then count your blessings, because 1 in every 3 people will at one point in their life, with the toxic environment we have created, be diagnosed with cancer. In fact, everyone at a few times in your lifetime you actually do have cancer. If you went into the doctors and sometimes when you're feeling really down and really, really, really sick, you really could get diagnosed with cancer. And that's why I don't believe in all of these pre-screenings and that kind of stuff, because you very well, because you could have cancer, but your doctor should tell you when to go home, to actually look at your lifestyle, look at your diet, change a few things, because all of your hold on, there she is. I'm working on getting her in. But all of your all of your cells regenerate every 45 days. So if you do have cancer, or you are feeling under the weather, then you are more than capable of naturally being able to fix that yourself. I'm working on getting her on, guys. I think she's here. Here we go. Please work this time. So anyway, let me see. Hi. Oh man, we got it. How you doing?
I am good. How are y'all? How are you, Penny?
I'm doing good. I'm actually warming up a little bit today in the 60s. So I've been playing in
Well,
the
I'm
dirt
actually
all
cooling
morning.
off. It has been like 90 degrees in Florida.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Wow.
know.
I'll never complain about the warm, I'll tell you that. I would rather sweat with hot flashes than this stuff. So
I feel the
bring it
same,
up here.
honestly.
So I figured we'd talk cannabis and cancer, because you know why? People just don't know all these years later. What's going on?
You know, cannabis and cancer seems to be the thing that I'm most passionate about. I started with children and cancer, obviously, as we talked last time, because of my son and everything. But it did not stop there. And one of my favorite sayings, Penny, a lot of people have asked me, why I work so hard, why I work so many hours, why I don't take a lot of time off. And I tell them cancer doesn't take a day off. It doesn't take a second off.
No.
And there's not very many people out there like myself compared to the rest of the population that are trying to make a dent in it and trying to move that dial of humanity forward. And, I heard when I first came in, it is so interesting to me, Penny, that if you go to any type of doctor and they tell you that you have cancer, right, they're going to tell you that they want to take a biopsy, right, they want to do this and that, and then tell you to wait 6 to 8 weeks most of the time to get back in there to see them, right? Cancer is a very aggressive, very fast-growing cell, and unfortunately, a lot of us don't get early detection, right? So most of the time, by the time you get diagnosed, we got a problem.
Yeah.
And so much so that I had a lady, she was 30, I believe 31 years old. She had stage 5 colon cancer. It had already gone to her liver, her lungs, all types of places. And there was a tumor blocking her colon, so she could not, eliminate. They told her that they were going to cut a piece of it out so they could send it off and see what it was, and that in 4 to 6 weeks, they would have a plan for her. Why are they letting people wait 4 to 6 weeks? Right? When it makes zero sense. It's almost like they're setting you up for failure, right? Yeah. And it is such an unfortunate thing. I ended up with colon cancer from the trauma, the stress, not releasing a lot of the things that had happened during land and seeing, just kind of rubbing that dirt in it and moving on. And I can honestly tell you, I understand why men have heart attacks.
Yeah.
From not letting it go, right? Not letting it out, man. So I ended up with 2 masses in my colon, and one in my sigmoid colon, one in my colon valve, that were obstructing my pathway. And so I was not able to go to the bathroom. And then 19 polyps. And they took it out in emergency surgery and sent it to the Mayo Clinic and the tumor bank. It told me, oh, we'll get back a hold of you in 6 weeks, right? Well, shitballs. The first day I found out that they were in there. If something is growing that fastly, it's probably cancer, right? I mean, let's just be honest. And I was very young, 30, I want to say, 30, 31. So I started immediately that day on getting up to that 1 gram per day of RSO. By the time they called me back, right, I had already been, it was like 6 or 8 weeks, I want to say. And so 2 months in. Well, the treatment is 60 to 90 days.
Right.
So I went back in. They told me, oh, my gosh, you have some type of really rare cancer. We need to do all this and that. And I said, actually, I'd like for you to check again. And they're like, oh, no, what do you mean? We know it's there. I'm like, what's a little colonoscopy then? Check again. It wasn't there because I had already started taking it. I eliminated all the things that were bad in my diet, right? So before they could ever even come up with what it was, I was already on top of it. And I tell this piece of information to almost every person that I come across. There was a man who won the Nobel Peace Prize, which ain't no bullshit, for discovering that cancer cannot live in an alkaline environment. So and we're made of water, right? All you have to do is go get those little pH test strips from Amazon, a health food store, or even a grow store for plants, nurseries, right? And rip a piece off and put it on your tongue. And then look at it on the back of that chart. And it will tell you every time what your pH is. And then you can alkaline yourself with, everybody thinks you got to go buy those bottles of water and all this weird shit, right? Baking soda will alkaline even Coca-Cola or black coffee.
Was that Dr. Brzezinski? Is that who you're talking about?
I want to say it was actually Watt. Dr. Otto Watt, but I might be confused on that. I'm still on coffee number 1. So, but right. I'll have to go look that up. In fact, I want to say that I just posted it not recently on my page. But finding that key piece of information when my son was sick was just incredible because I could sit there in real time and test his body, right? And then test his stuff. But everything that we put in our body is either alkaline or acidic.
Right.
So, and we're water, so everything is fluctuating all the time. So I try to tell people that a lot of people now are very scared, Penny, that they're going to get cancer because we all know somebody, and not somebody's friend or whatever. We all know somebody that has had cancer. or their kid had cancer or whatever. So everybody's asking me now, what can I do? And I tell them prevention. Obviously, prevention is key.
Yeah.
All you have to do is eat alkaline foods. You can Google the 100 alkaline food list. I'll tell you my favorite, and it's number 1, watermelon. Watermelon is a perfectly alkaline food. You can eat as much of it as you want. So anybody that has cancer should be eating a shit ton of watermelon, shouldn't they? Right?
Right, and they're getting the natural water from the melon
Exactly.
too. So it's really, yeah.
So a lot of, there's so much information out there. That's what I always hear. Sierra, I just don't know what to do because there's so much conflicting info. And I tell them, you need to keep it to the basics. Go back as far as you can and see what they were saying about curing cancer. Because we did not have all this technology. We didn't have all this pharmacopoeia back then. How were they doing it?
Yeah.
Right? And you will find the answers if you look. We all have a miniature computer in our hand every day, but rather they want to call me. Hey, Sierra, can you answer my question? Google can answer your questions. And to lead into that, one of the number one questions that I get asked, and it's been 10 years, Penny. I'm not sure how much more I can answer this question. It's been 10 years. I even made a little YouTube video addressing it. How much do you have to take to cure cancer? Woo, I really wish the federal government would have allowed us all to study that, right? But he didn't. They didn't. So the best we've ever been able to come up with, and it does work, 1 gram a day of THC, 1,000 milligrams, and 500 milligrams of CBD per day for 60 to 90 days. Low dose will never cure cancer. Never. And I have seen a lot of, I don't know what to call them because they are not healers. I've seen a lot of entities in this industry that want to put out products or information or label themselves as some type of a healer and tell people that they need low dose for cancer. Yeah. I can't tell you how many we've lost because they didn't want to fucking listen. So shooting the moon is better than being wrong. Because being wrong with your plan cancer, is not a good idea. So once we have more information, they might end up saying it's 800 milligrams, right? They might say it's 750. We don't know that. So until we know that, you have got to do what people have already done, and it worked. And that was 1 gram a day, right? The only cancer, there's only one. This is probably one of the top 5 questions. What about this cancer? What about this cancer? Yeah. All of them except for one. Every cancer except for one is treated with THC. The only one that is not is estrogen-driven breast cancer. That one you need high CBD with very low THC. But that's the only one. Every other cancer, it works. Another great question I always get asked is, what strain? They all work. All of them. Every fucking one. The idea is not about the name of the strain. And yes, they all do different things, right? So obviously, I've tried to tell a lot of people about sativa RSO. Why would you do that, right? Oh, that's probably a bad idea. You're going to get that little heart racing, right? Like you will really get to going on that. I'm so sorry. Ryder, come here. My poor dog wants some attention because I'm giving it to y'all. Come here, buddy. Look, you want to say hi?
She's like, we just woke up Ryder.
Oh, shoot. Sorry about that. Say hi, buddy. I know you're so excited. Oh my God, I'm so excited. So, all of them, that is what you need. Yeah, that's what you need to do for all the cancers, right? So you don't have to wait to button all this back up, zipper it up. You don't have to wait for a doctor to tell you what type of cancer you have, unless you're dealing with breast cancer, but they actually find that out very early on because it depends on the treatment. So imagine you could already be 10 steps ahead of the game as soon as they tell you that you have any type of issue that they believe is cancer. So I also tell people, I have witnessed a lot of things, Penny, a lot of things, girl. People that use cannabis oil in combination with chemotherapy and radiation do not get as sick. They don't get as hurt. They don't get as damaged, right? They do not end up needing narcotics or blood and platelet transfusions like people that do.
Yeah. Right?
So I always tell people that you need to make the absolute best decision, right? For you, for your family, for your children. And if you have a type of cancer that they say is going to be curable, right?
Right.
Very high success rate. You should give yourself every opportunity to do so before you harm yourself, because chemotherapy literally does not do anything but destroy all cells. So if you're going to do that, because I can't seem to get, a certain age group of people, really is what it is, if I have to be honest with you, Penny. But really, it's a whole group of people that have been brainwashed into thinking that chemotherapy is the gold standard. So for the people that I cannot seem to convince to take that leap of faith, right? Do both.
Yeah.
Do both.
Yeah.
You have a better chance of surviving chemotherapy and radiation if you're using cannabis oils. It does not hurt the efficacy. In fact, it heightens it, right? It makes it work better because it protects you and your healthy fighter cells, right? So I always try to tell people that I understand having cancer is very scary. Your loved one having cancer is very scary. But decisions that are long lasting and worthwhile cannot be made out of fear. They have to be made out of logic and reasoning. And there's a lot of information out there now about cannabis. My son's not the only story, right? He's one of the most widely known ones, but that's because I just won't shut up about it. But I want everybody to have the opportunity to make a choice, because when you get diagnosed with cancer right now, even today, they're not going to give you that other choice, are they?
No.
And that's not fair.
No.
You should have the best chance and choice to live a long, healthy life, not a damaged life either, because that is not a life at all, is it? So
No.
I try to tell people, Penny, that do your research first. Right? We have 24 hours in a day. Most people, once they find out they have cancer, their life is over, right? Their life is, they knew it. Now we got to go do treatments. We got to do this and that. No more work, no more school, if that's what it is, right? It's a big thing. So imagine you have all the time to research, to look, to try to find the answers that are going to work for you, your husband, your wife, your brother, your sister, your mama, whoever, or your child. And I know that it's scary. I know that it is just awful to go through. But unfortunately, this is the world that we live in now. And if I could beg anybody and everybody that's ever going to see this, please use prevention. Using just a small drop of CBD or THC daily will literally keep your endocannabinoid system active. Now, you probably shouldn't be eating at McDonald's either, y'all. You probably shouldn't be drinking Dr. Pepper 29 times a day, right? We have got to start making healthier choices based off of real, actual information and not advertisements, not corporations, right? Not celebrities backing something. In fact, I used to drink ginger ale when I had an upset stomach, right? Because it was made with real ginger. Well, that's long gone, first of all. But when I tell you that I picked up one the other day, and I'm always looking at stuff if I'm standing in the checkout line. I'll just pick up stuff and look at it. And I flipped that ginger ale bottle around, and it said that it had 68 grams of sugar in it. It said it was 138% of your daily value.
Yeah.
In one soda. I'm not sure if everybody knows what 68 grams is, but you should go weigh that out on a table scale, because
that originally came from, like, back in the day, they used to make ginger bug, and you make a SCOBY with the ginger, and that's what was the base of your drinks, like the juices and the sodas. So they were all medicinal, like everything was, like kombucha, and they've changed it. And now they're doing the same thing with cannabis. Honestly, like tobacco is one of the 4 original sacred herbs. You actually bless all of your other herbs with tobacco, and look what they turned tobacco into. And they're actually going that way with cannabis. That's why I feel that we really need to get on this and talk. Like, it's going in a bad direction, and we definitely need to stop it before it goes that way, because it won't heal then.
Well, the way to stop it. Oh, man. So I always tell people, right now, right, I can tell you a real life story. I just moved to Florida, right? Beautiful state, lovely people, great food. But man, their medical marijuana program sucks. It's probably one of the worst ones I've seen, right? Literally. And not only that, the lovely, lovely shit-eating folks at True Leaf which is the #1 dispensary in this state, just opened their 100th location, and their CEO's husband was sentenced to 4 years fed time for collusion, paying off the Florida officials to make the rules so that they would win, right? So that Trulieve would get ahead, this and that, and fucked the patients.
Yeah.
Right? So guess what's thriving here? The black market.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody going to play those games.
Yeah.
So we have to realize that by, our choices, right? Voting with our dollar bills, y'all, is how we shut shit down.
Yeah.
If everybody in this country for one day didn't go to Walmart, oh, we'd have some say. If everybody didn't go to those gas pumps for one day, Penny, one day, but nobody will, we the people, nobody will get together. Because I don't like you because you use cannabis, and I don't like you because you use alcohol, and I don't like you because you're a Baptist, and I don't like you because you're a Christian.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I don't like you because you wear a rainbow. I don't like you because I'm not gay. I don't like you because I am gay. Weird, right? So all they've done is put us against each other to where we will never turn on them. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So I tell people, until y'all are willing to see the truth, you will keep on suffering. You'll keep lining up outside of Taco Bell and then wondering why you have the shits. You will keep on eating all this junk ass food that is not food and wondering why you have high blood pressure and diabetes and all of this other stuff, and you're overweight and your skin looks like shit. Again, everybody's suffering, Penny, but nobody wants to ask that big question. Why?
Yeah.
And what can we do about it? Super easy answer. Grow your own fucking food, or find a local farm to you and be cool with them, right? Buy their products. You know what I mean? Find over where you guys are. Man, if I could find those Amish people, I might not come back, Penny.
Oh,
that sounds like a great life. Doesn't it?
I mean,
we are being poisoned.
I've met
all the
Amish people and original Hopi Indians up here, and I actually have some of the original Hopi tobacco. That's why I brought tobacco up, because and I'll send you some.
Yes, I would love that.
It's fun to grow. It's really pretty plant, and like I said, you're supposed to bless everything with it, so you need some.
Definitely. So just imagine that, the people that are getting into this industry or already in it are not our people. They're not. Yeah. And I'm sorry to say that, right? And that's another part of dividing all of us, right? But the thing is, when I say our people, I'm talking about the Rainbow Warriors.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the people that are here to change things, to make it better, to bring back the old ways, right? That we live in harmony with nature. We live in harmony with animals, right? We thank them for their food that they're giving us, right? We don't raise them in freaking warehouses and abuse them, right? All of these different things that are wrong, right? In fact, I really love all of the, I'm going to go on another enchilada right now, Penny. So many people talk to me about the food and the this and, about just how bad this world is and what's going on. And I ask them, what are they doing about it, right? And they say, oh, well, I donate to this, there, or that. And I said, I don't think you really understand how much power you have with your choices. Almost all the people that I know, all of their clothes were made by a child slave. If your clothes come from Walmart, Target, any of those factory-ass stores, they're being made with child labor. iPhones, Beyonce shit, Kylie Jenner shit, everybody knows this. That's why they're all made in Malaysia, made in China, right? We all know what's going on. We've seen the footages, we've seen the shit, right? But people do not care because they want that $1 fucking whatever from Walmart. So we have done this to ourselves. So until we're willing to make the hard choices, like I intentionally find clothing that is made by people like you and me. You and me, right? Does it cost me a little more? Yes, but my conscience is clear on wearing it. I do not want that grief, that horror, that everything on this clothes. Energy is energy. And a lot of people don't realize that. If you eat an animal that was abused and beaten and kept in captivity and everything else, what do you think you're eating? Do you think it's just transmuted? Unless you're an energy cleaner, you're eating that. And everybody wonders why they're depressed, why they're anxious, why their kids can't act right, right? It is a tidal wave of stupidity.
Yeah.
That's all it is, because it's right in front of our faces and everybody is still making the same choices. Well, I don't think Fruity Pebbles is that bad for my kids, Sierra. Really? Whatever happened to just giving them a bowl of fruit? Well, I can't
Right.
afford that. So let's get down to the truth. You don't want to sacrifice all the nice luxuries you have in life to make sure your kids eat good. And I understand. When I lived in Colorado and Landon was sick, and Colorado is a landlocked state, right? And nothing grows there. No food, no crops, nothing, right? Everything's trucked in. It cost me over $1,000 a month to feed a 2, 3, and 4-year-old child organically. So I promise I understand. I do. But again, this is a lifestyle change. So now, guess what? I moved to places that had a lot of agriculture, of organic food, not no Bill Gates farms, real people with real farms. Now I'm in Florida. There's a whole lot of farms here too. I already found one, and it was called like Big Daddy's Organic Farm. I was like, okay, Big Daddy, get it, right?
Yeah.
Do you, boo? But trying to find them is not difficult. Now, as time goes on and things get worse, they might be, or they might have membership only. You should probably start looking into that now and learning how to grow your own. Because, again, the cancer is not taking a day off, and it ate its fucking Wheaties today.
Yeah. Sure did.
I'm still on coffee number 1, so it's already kicking my ass, isn't it?
Well, they could do.
So just imagine, Penny, that if we could all get together, right? If we could all come together to share our stories. Everybody has a cannabis story, damn near. I mean, it's insane to get that lump out of your throat, that people are going to judge you, that people are going to, guess what, they already are. Your whole life. Everybody's been judging us our whole life, huh? But trying to tell a story about triumph and what this plant can do for you is not scary. People want to hear it.
Yeah.
They do. They want to hear about all the conditions. They want to hear about all the different cancers that have been cured, the epilepsy, the children, the autism, right? If that shit made a blind man see, people want to hear about it, don't they? People are just afraid to tell. So we've got to get past that part, right? Because if everyone tells their story, our tidal wave will consume this nation.
It will.
Bullshit.
You know, and
It really will.
give it to you too, because when I was diagnosed with cancer, and this is how scary it is when you're diagnosed. I was married then, but I literally did not tell anyone I had cancer for 5 years, and I never went back to a doctor. I walked into the woods and hid from everybody and learned about. That's when I really got into my foraging full force, and nature taught me. But like, I mean, it took me 5 years to even tell anyone I had cancer, and I still have not been back. But I do know that I am healthier now at 51 than I was at 38. I was dying. They were killing me. And it started with a biopsy from a pre-screening MRI on a rotor cuff tear. Like, it's just, I had really, really good Blue Cross Blue Shield insurance too, girls. So they love
I bet
that.
they're like,
Oh yeah, let's just get this girl. And it breaks my heart because, I'm 51, but back in the day, there were no kids' cancer wards. People
no.
died of old age. They didn't die of cancer. So
I'm only 38. Why do I keep saying that? Am I like fast forwarding in the future? I've said it like 3 times this week. I am 35.
Yeah,
I
don't
didn't
age
have
yourself.
a single person in my school that had cancer, like a fellow person. Not a single one. Something is happening, isn't it? That it's increasing and by a lot as well. It's not a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And I never even, knew somebody's mom who had cancer, right? The only time I really had ever heard of it was like, oh, my grandma has colon cancer, right? And that one always made sense to me because, that thing has the worst job.
Right.
Right. I mean, it's only, can make sense that would go after 88 years of nothing but toxic waste going through it.
Elderly person.
Yeah.
Not in a
That's, so
you know.
for people not to realize and to, again, just go back and look at the timeline, right, of how things went, right? So how all of these vaccines started coming out, the shingles, the chickenpox, the this, the that. And again, I was born in 88. So I want to say I'm one of the last years. My mom took me to a chickenpox party.
Yeah.
And then took me back because she didn't think I got it good enough. And she was right. I got it again.
You're actually, my son's 33, so,
Yeah.
but when my son, when all the kids had chicken, a couple of kids had chicken pox at my house, I filled up my big jacuzzi tub and there was like 9 kids in there. They all got it. The chicken pox was gone. And that's how, that's not a lie. We did that.
It
We did
really,
that.
it happened to me. She took me back.
My son, he brought,
But I will say later on in life, from stress and everything else, I ended up with an autoimmune issue, right? That's like, but when I tell you, when I went in, they were like, whoa. They were like, this is one of 3 things. You either have shingles, herpes, or this is an autoimmune response to severe stress. And I was all, well, first of all, I hadn't touched no willy in a minute. And he was like, oh, no, you could get it from a doorknob. I was all, you said that couldn't happen. You said I had to touch it. I had to touch it, or it had to touch me. And he was like, nope, we have learned different now. So we need to scrape it and collect the fluid and test it. And then he said, did you, oh, I see, you're 88. Woo. Did you have chicken pox or the vaccine? And I said, why? And he said, because if you had chicken pox naturally, you're immune to shingles because they're related. If you got the vaccine, you're not.
Right.
I said, oh, well, let me tell you a story. My mama took me twice. He said, well, we're still going to test it just to make sure. Weirder things have happened, right? I'm like, okay. Herpes? Nope. And what was weird about that is they still gave me these pills, right? That they said just in case, right? And a preventative. But when I looked up the side effects, it was like, oh, my butthole's going to bleed, right? It could cause a stroke, labored breathing. I was like, I'm good on that. I know I ain't touching no damn willy, right? Like, I know that I wash my hands. I got a good immune system. And then they set me up for the stress test. And man, they came back and they were like, ma'am, your stress is so high. We don't even know how you're not having a heart attack. And I was like, that's because my hand's taking the hit. Thank you. Thank you, hand. Appreciate that. But they're like, you have got to get this stress down. And I'm like, you have got to stop killing people. Stop medicating people. Stop medicating these kids. Stop fucking pushing fucking bullshit food and get this tray out of my fucking room with your Kraft macaroni fucking contract and your Minute Maid juice contract. And they were like, oh, whoa, she's one of those. Y'all better let me out of here. Y'all better let me out of here right fucking now, because I'll burn it down. Y'all are the ones doing this. I'm stressed out because all I deal with is kids that are dying from fucking cancer because you told their parents that eating at McDonald's is A-okay. You told them that Minute Maid juice is A-okay. You told them that the cereal aisle is A-okay, and it's not.
I am so sick of everything being about the kids. The poor kids are the damn target, and they have been since day one. And yeah, I feel your pain, girl. I've been doing that. Like I said, I've been doing this for over 30 years, and I went and hid in the woods for 10. I'm just now coming back out.
I've almost wanted to do that. I've said that a lot, Penny. One day I'm going to end up hiding in the woods with like war paint across my face like a crazy curandera. You know what I mean? But fuck it. Because it doesn't make sense.
I was the crazy mountain woman, but
that's all we need to survive is to be out in the natures. But honestly, I tell a lot of people, Penny, too, that sickness is not just physical. It's bad relationships, bad love, bad friendships, abuse, right? Suffrage. All of those things will cause your body to react. So I always tell people, we're not here for a long time. And I'm not saying we're here for a good time either, but you do get to decide that. You get to decide how much stress you're going to take, how much bullshit you're going to take from another person, how many chances you're going to give somebody that's already telling you how they feel about you.
That's right, because,
I can treat people all day, Penny. right? I could treat you
Yeah.
all day.
Yeah.
If you're at home getting abused, it ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
Because energy is energy. And I've tried to tell so many people that in life, Penny, that if they want to be healthy, you have got to stop doing what you've been doing. Because what you've been doing is what got you right here.
Yeah.
And I must be one of the only doctors that A, isn't a doctor, and B, I want to know why. Why did
Yeah.
you get cancer? I can tell you why I did. I really went deep to figure it out. Why did you? Why did anybody? I can tell you why Landon did, right? But if I spend enough time with anybody, I can get down to it. I
Yeah.
can
And
tell
that's
them why.
where you need to go. You need to go to the root, and all they're doing is symptom and diagnosis, with, I
You'll never
mean,
fix it. Never.
yeah.
It'll keep popping up in different places and different places. And, the spirit of fear is so strong, so strong. And as soon as people find out, they want to shut down, they want to do the worst, right? When really, there was a man that made a country song about it, right? And every time I hear it, like, I just want to like a little, and it was I went skydiving, I went Rocky Mountain climbing, right? Because he found out
Yeah.
he had a week or so to live. And he said, what else was I going to do? Right? I loved
Yeah.
deeper. I thought harder. I wrote a bull, right? Like everything, because why not? Why let fear snuff you out? As long as you have a breath in your body, Penny, you can heal yourself. So I've
Yeah.
tried to tell a lot of people this. Please go look up the movie Heal. That's the name of it. Heal. Look it up on Google. Look it up on wherever. I'm not sure where it's at. If it's probably on Amazon Prime or something like that. It is a movie all about people that healed themselves with their mind. And I'm talking from some crazy shit, like unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then started wanting to teach other people, doctors in there that teach people how to heal themselves. The power that made your body and my body will heal itself. If I was able to jump through this phone right now and put a slit on you, it would heal itself without you even thinking about it. Why can't we heal ourselves anymore? It's a good question, isn't it? We've been disconnected from our true selves and our true path, from true food, from true water,
Yeah.
right? So if you are constantly bombarded with poison, we're also getting electronically poisoned. There is technology everywhere, everywhere. And as safe as they've tried to make it, it is still putting off radiation, EMFs, and all of that. You can go test it, right? Go put that little tester outside of your meter box. Oh, shit balls. In fact, I've known quite a few parents that one kid in the family got diagnosed with cancer, and they slept in the room with the meter box on the outside wall. Multiple. Well, that's weird. Or is it a coincidence? No, it's not. And so people that are weak links, and I hate to say that, but if you are a weak link, if you have a lowered immune system, right? And then you're also eating sugar and eating toxic foods, right? And not trying to build up your systems, you will get sick. You will end up getting cancer. Add some stress in there, boy, that's the paprika on this deviled egg, isn't it? And you'll never get away from it, because as soon as somebody tells you you have cancer, you get so scared. Rather than, all right, let me whip out my sword, right? Dust off my helmet and my breastplate, because you fucked with the wrong one. People get scared. I don't know if I can do this. I'm probably going to die. I'm all, you probably are if that's what you think.
Yeah.
You can tell your body what to do. You're in charge of it. I can't tell it what to do, can I? I'm all,
No,
Penny, go to sleep right now.
the thoughts are
Fall out.
so powerful. You're right. The thoughts are so powerful. And that's why I hate that they even get diagnosed, because, God, just being told you get cancer, it just fucks you up mentally so bad. And no one realizes unless they've heard those words. And just that, just those words, they can kill you. I mean, they
It's
can.
planting a seed.
Yeah.
Planting a seed that you're going to water until it's a beanstalk, but not to
Yeah.
heaven, to hell. And putting your power into somebody else's hand will never benefit you, especially not somebody that A, doesn't give a fuck about you, much less love you, and B, is going to stand to profit off of you. Chemotherapy is one of the last medications that they get paid to prescribe. Man, you know, I've seen a lot of really good men put in some really precarious situations, and they didn't make the right choice. They chose money. They chose lust. Oh, I could go on and on, right? I could go on and on. If somebody is getting yachts and everything else, do you think they give a fuck about you or me walking through that door, Penny? In fact, they've probably convinced themselves that there's too much of you and me, and they're doing a service. Because why else would they do it? There's actually, y'all can go Google this. Don't believe me. You can Google anything I've ever said. Please do research so you can validate yourself. There was multiple doctors that were tried and convicted for falsely diagnosing people with cancer so that they could get paid to treat them.
It's still happening today, I'm sure, you know?
What? So this isn't even a mistake? This isn't even like oh, you went in to get the left leg cut off, you got the right one, are bad, right? No, no, no. This was intentional misdiagnosis and treatment. So if we give people that type of power, why would bad people not use it?
I think,
Stop giving your power away.
Everybody thinks that, you know, like no one would do anything like that because you know, most people are good and, you know, they want to do good, but they don't realize there's these other people out there that are not like that. They don't think the way that we do. They have other agendas.
More of them, Penny, than us.
I mean,
More,
honestly,
and we can sit here and we can talk about a billion things, but let's just talk about statistics, right?
Yeah.
If we want to talk about the people that are in prison, okay, for assault, rape, molestation, murder, right? Armed robbery. I mean, you could go on and on. The only ones we're not going to consider are plant-based medicine, right? And really, I don't even give a fuck about drug addicts, and I used to be one because that's a choice, a daily choice, okay?
Right.
The only people in there that don't deserve to be are the ones that are falsely convicted, or it's plant-based medicine, right? That's it. Or the, you know, old girl shot and killed her husband because she had enough, right? Or like Gypsy Blanche or whatever, right? That her mom did all that to her and she finally snapped. I can't believe they put that girl in prison, but whatever. Right. She was a danger to society. They could have put her in a loony bin though, or, you know, a Paris Hilton rehab or something. I didn't think she deserved all that, whatever. But my point is, you are responsible for your choices, and so am I. And we know what those consequences are. So everybody's going to go through things in life, right? Every fucking one of us. But we are the ones holding the knife to our own throat. I have met very few people that was like, he had a gun to my head and made me do it. Very few. We are all making choices out of love, hope, giving second chances. They're going to get their shit together, Sierra. Just one more opportunity and they're going to get it. Okay, alrighty, girl. You let me know how that goes. So just imagine we've all done it to ourselves, right? In every area. Consequences, I hear you coming, right? So until we accept that, until we say, I'm the problem, right? You'll never get anywhere because we're all the problem. Literally, we've all done things to our bodies, to ourselves. I don't even want to ask you, Penny, how many drugs you've done in your life. Don't ask me either. I'm surprised this thing's still alive. Every day I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry for all the things I've done to you, body. Please don't break up with me. Because if this thing goes, I go. So if you want to be healthy, make those choices. Start making those choices. Detox your mind, your body, and your soul so that they can all come back together. We're supposed to live hundreds of years. We are. And no lie, they just found a lady in Africa and her thing says that she's 180-something years old. She was born in the 1800s. What?
There's documentation of some herbalists in China that have lived 200 and something years old.
So guess what? Our life expectancy in the great old US of A is now 73 years old. Why is that? We're the greatest nation on earth and we dying, girl. Our kids are sick. Our kids have all these issues, autism, ADHD, ADD. We can't feed our own people. We can't house our people. We can't create good food. So now we've got bioengineered shit out the ass. And no lie, everybody in America thinks that our number one, the thing that is most valuable here, is our military. And that's actually number two. Our medical fucking industry is number one.
Yeah.
And I had a man one time, Penny, this is going to blow your mind right here, girlfriend, which I love when people do this to me, right? Like really give those good questions where you got to go within to think about it. And
Yeah.
I was at an event speaking and he was there speaking too. He's a cannabis doctor, like a real doctor, like doctor, right? Okay. And he came up to me because I said, if I can cure the whole world, I will. If you need help, hit me up, right? In a nutshell. So he comes up to me after he said, I would love to ask you a question. And I'm like, okay. If you cured cancer, everybody's cancer in one day, you wouldn't feel bad? And I just looked at him and I'm all, what you mean? What you mean, Willis? What?
Right.
No, I wouldn't feel bad. He was like, do you know how many people you would ruin? You would ruin an entire, you would set this whole country into the Great Depression. And I just looked at him and I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And he's all, it's our number one industry. Do you know how many people would lose their jobs? All the way from the doctors to the nurses to the CNAs to the janitor to the supply chain to the medical coding and billing, right? All of them.
I mean, wow.
You would be responsible for literally bankrupting this country. And I looked at that man and I said, sir, I'll put every motherfucking one of you on the street. Everyone. If I do find the cure for all, if I find the formulation or whatever, I'm telling everybody. Because just, you know, you sound like the logging industry back in the day. What are we going to do? Did you know all things were made out of wood? Toys were made out of fucking wood. Until we realized we ain't got enough fucking trees because we didn't plant any while we were cutting them down because we're stupid. So guess what? Just like that logging industry, you gonna find something else to do. You know how to cook? Because I'm a little hungry.
Right.
You know how to sew? Can you tattoo? Can you do hair? Paul Mitchell, what's up? But killing people and keeping people sick ain't it. And if that's what you've convinced yourself, Mr. Doctor, I'm sorry for you. I got 99 problems and that ain't one. I will cure it if I can. I will. And you'd already told me, he was like, they'll kill you before you ever get a chance, and walked away. I was all, catch me if you can then, bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
Go on, because guess what? I've already seen enough movies. If they wanted to take me out, they would have already.
Yeah.
And the day that they do, it's going to look like some homeless crackhead got me at a gas pump, right? Just like old Cash App founder just got stabbed to death by some homeless person. Really? And then the feds are now releasing their version of Cash App. I'm all, ooh, and y'all don't see, nobody sees that. Y'all don't see, okay, whatever. So if they wanted to, they would. But they don't, because they need me to keep talking and sharing the story and buttering y'all's pancake for when they deliver their pharmaceutical version. Trust us now. Look, everybody said it was great. And now we have, ready?
Right, exactly.
That's how it's going to go, right? That's it. So I understand nurses, doctors, everybody, maybe, and I'm saying maybe got into this to help people, because I don't know that for sure, do I?
Right.
I met a lot of fucked up doctors, girl. I think
too.
some of them did. But everybody has a price.
I mean, on their behalf, they get, they have to take all this schooling, and they're so in debt, and they start a family, and at that point, they're stuck. They have to do it. I mean,
Circle jerk.
Yeah.
So, and what's the fastest way you think to pay off all that debt? Getting paid to prescribe something.
I cleaned house.
I mean, it's awful, right? It's awful. Like, if you just sat back and look at the whole thing, it's so clear. It's all right there laid out for us. And I try to tell people, Penny, that the day we're all willing to burn all hospitals. Oh, man. you know, people were like, oh my God, Clutch My Pearls, that girl's crazy. What the fuck do they do for anybody?
Right.
All they did was take your power away.
Yeah.
Because your grandma and my grandmama, oh, they didn't run to no hospital. And in fact, back in the day, they came to us. Doctors came to you. If it was that bad.
That's what we do now. That's what me and you, we do that now. And, you know, when we help someone, a new patient, we don't just in and out 5 minutes and just don't know anything about them. It takes hours.
Oh my gosh.
It takes hours, you know, to talk to them and really help. So,
yeah, every human is a Rubik's Cube that you have to put together, and none of them are the same. Now, what works for one person with a similar Rubik's Cube might work for you, but we're going to have to change a few things, right? Just a few. But just imagine that until everybody takes back their power. Do you know how many people go to the doctor for a cold? Man, when did we get away from a little bit of suffering, right? Nobody wants to suffer now. So everybody wants to run to the doctor as soon as their kids have a fever. And then now we got antibiotic kids. Nobody wants to just go through it. Do you think that our grandparents were like, you're going to be just fine. Go sweat it out in the lodge. You're going to be just fine. And then if it didn't come out in the lodge, maybe it's something else. Drink this tea. We're going to go talk to our ancestors. I'm all, what the fuck? You ain't got no Vicks up in here? They're like, that's your white side, Sierra. Up in here, we're going to find out what the fuck is wrong with you. Because the only reason something is wrong with you is something's wrong with you. So let's find out what it is. And I'm all, okay, because that makes sense. But every time you go to the doctor for everything, here's my power, here's my power, here's my power. For what? You have a miniature computer in your hand. But what's funny about that, Penny, is people want to look up their stuff and be like, oh, God, I got a brain tumor. No. Do you know how many people go to the hospital every year thinking they're having a heart attack and it's anxiety?
Yeah, a lot.
That's because we don't know how to control ourselves.
Yeah.
Were you taught how to meditate in school?
No.
I wasn't. Were you taught
how to something?
Take a couple deep breaths?
My granddaughter
I wasn't.
is in 4-year-old preschool, and they do yoga every day, and I am
probably
so happy
because they've seen the error of our ways. Yeah. And if we don't change something, Penny, there is a whole couple generations right under me that are worthless.
Yeah. And
y'all can be mad at me for saying that, but you say it too. They don't want to respect anybody. They all just want to play video games. They don't have any drive in life. The lights are on, but ain't nobody fucking at home, right? Grand Theft Auto it up, out shooting up schools, out shooting up their friends, right? Weird shit. Murdering their own friends because Slender Man told them to. Snorting Tide Pods. We got a lot of dumbasses running around, literally, that are only going to kill themselves or other people. And I can't wait till they get a driver's license and some alcohol. Whee! So just imagine, it starts with us. So many people say I'm so hard on Landon. And I'm all, why? And they're like, well, everything he's been through. I'm all, that ain't the last of it. I wish it was. I wish I could in confidence tell Landon, you ain't never going to go through nothing again. You met your quota. Have you, Penny? Did you meet your quota yet? Or are you still going through some things?
Boy, I feel like I should have a long time ago, but it doesn't stop.
Me fucking too. That's all we can do, right? Is learn to control ourselves, our mind, body, and soul, right? And learn to take care of ourselves and each other. And that is with the hands and feet, right? So being there for each other, doing the things, and with the mouth, sharing knowledge. Every single person should already know how to take care of the common cold. Because when the Great Depression hit, you better fucking learn quick. When Hurricane Katrina hit down here, they were telling me that there was no power or no help, no nothing for 2 weeks, and people lost their minds. Yeah. And it almost came down to them all killing each other until the National Guard and everybody showed up with food and water. Okay, so if y'all, all that was a hurricane, girl, imagine the way the world's going right now. If that shit really happened, most people will not survive because they do not even know how to get through the common cold.
Yeah.
And they can learn right now today. They're too busy on TikTok.
Yeah.
They're too busy on Snapchat. I see people all day long doing that, right? Like, I swear, they're like on their little phone, like, I'm all... You could be learning so much, and it's all online now. It's all free, right? There's so much information.
I mean,
so
when I grew up, we had to go to a library to get any information, and not even like, you know, barely any of this information could have fit in a library. So like, it would take you, you know, yeah, people use their time unwisely. They really do.
Flipping through them cards trying to find one, the Dewey Decimal System.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Right? And I loved books too. In fact, I won every reading competition at my school. Everyone. I used to get grounded from books. I didn't have friends. I had a lot of friends' books. I didn't know real life friends because I've always been a little leery of human beings. Right. But, you know, as a child, I thought it was bad here. You know, I remember why I came here. I know why I'm here. A lot of people don't. They need to figure that out, right? But I do remember. And as a child, I really, like, I had my suspicions, right? I didn't think it was this bad.
Yeah.
I didn't. I thought that there was more people doing more good. But instead, we got Joel Osteen's running around. Woo! If somebody don't assassinate that man already. And really, that's the other part of it, that nobody wants to do what needs to be done. Do you know why I haven't won the lottery yet? I'll tell you. Because if I did, I'm creating SEAL Team 6.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a 5-time repeat pedophile? And you just keep getting out? That's cute. And you live 2 blocks from a school? That's cute. That's real cute. Because what are we talking about that we keep interacting with pure evil?
Yeah.
And being like, we're going to give you another chance. But we got people in lifetime prison for marriage of hoogie. Non-violent offense. So something has happened in this world where what's right is wrong and what's wrong is right. But it won't be for me. And if I have to end up in the woods, right, helping people with plant-based medicine, I will. Because we don't need hospitals. We don't need doctors. We don't. In fact, Quinn, the medicine woman, is who I aspire to be, right? I don't know if anybody remembers that damn show. But that's what I aspire to be, is somebody who knows how to do what needs to be done without a hospital, with plants, with herbs, and it's all doable. Everything that we've ever needed is already on this planet. Now, have we created, not you and I, right, but the humans, some really bad shit? Yes, we have. But we are the strongest thing on this planet. In fact, what's setting in here is the most powerful thing on the planet. I would love to touch Elon Musk's, Ashley. Hold it in my hands. That man is brilliant, but so are you. So is everybody else sitting here. The only difference is he's tapped into it and inflated one side of his ego so big that words from other people that are beneath him cannot hurt him. Because why would they? Why would he be sitting there crying about what some fucking tweet says about him from somebody that works at 7-Eleven or even at AT&T when he's about to launch a fucking rocket? That's craziness, isn't it? When he's literally giving people free internet. He gave a whole country fucking to Wi-Fi. But imagine if he was crying over the thoughts of peasants.
Yeah.
That whole country wouldn't have Wi-Fi. Right? So imagine that you have got to elevate above everybody that is trying to keep you down. You have a gift. Everybody on this live has a gift. We all came here for a reason. Most people just forgot. And that's why everybody's so unhappy. They're not living their yellow brick road. They got off the path, but they know where it's at. You can feel it calling you all the time. And it's annoying too. When you're not living and it's all, yoo-hoo. You're all, shut up. I don't want to do that. Right. That sounds scary. That everyone's going to think I'm wild as fuck, right? They're going to call me crazy. Well, guess what? Albert Einstein was called crazy. Tesla was called crazy. Elon's been called crazy, right? Da Vinci was called crazy. All of them were. But they weren't, were they? So if we just look back in time and then forward, none of us are crazy. We have gifts that we need to utilize. And if yours is helping to heal people and plants, please, for the love of God, do it. Everybody, right? Because we're being overrun, y'all, with sickness, with disease, with heartbreak. Stress is killing us. It really is. And it's sad. Bad food, bad water. And really, I love this question. Well, what do we do about it? You know. Everybody already knows. Nobody just wants to do it.
Yeah.
Because it's going to change our lives forever. The day we, the people, rise up, it will change everything forever, won't it? But it can't be worse than this, girl. I'm tired
No, it can't.
of watching people die from cancer, kids. I really am. There's a cure.
I'd rather be in a war bloody and bruised than the war that we've been in for the last few years, 30 years, and it's all mind fucking lies, like hidden. I'd rather see that shit in my face because we are in a war. We are in a war.
These are all sneak attacks. That's what's awful about it, right? Is that we're all being hit and Trojan horse. This food is great for you. The FDA approved it. This medicine is great for you. The FDA approved it, right? So we're all being fed Trojan horses, but then there's no accountability, right? So at what point do people have to start realizing they will never be held accountable for anything? This vaccine, all the medicines they put out before, we've all seen those damn commercials, the baby powder. All Johnson & Johnson had to do was pay a fine. That didn't even come close to the amount of sales they made in baby powder.
Yeah.
So if there is no checks and balances, why wouldn't bad people be bad? Not only that, they get rewarded for it. Why wouldn't they? Right? Because if we all think that there's only good people running around this earth, ooh, child. Yeah. I got some things to tell you. So we have got to understand, find your people, right? When you meet somebody and you get that someday right here, find good people. The time is near, y'all. And I'm not talking about repent. The time is near that we're all going to have to band up because they're destroying our country right now. Right now. As soon as that gas and oil is not backed by the U.S. dollar, woo, buckle up, buttercups. It'll be the first time ever in the history, ever. We fought wars over people trying to undo that. But we can't fight China because they manufacture all our shit. And we owe them trillions of dollars. So all they'd have to do is be like, guess what? No more boats to you. Yeah. Everything we make. In fact, I was reading a report the other day because I try to stay up on it. It's like 95% of our pharmaceuticals are made there. From over-the-counter up. 95. That's aspirin, ibuprofen, all of it. Right? Oh, man. And you're going to love this one. It was like growing. Over 70% of our food products are manufactured in China.
Well,
paper goods, household goods, all of them are manufactured there.
There for processing, which is crazy. Like to me, like we raise things here, send it there to be processed, and bring it back. Like,
which I got teleportation we didn't know about because that's a long boat ride or a plane ride. And how could you do any of that and make it affordable? And you're still going to try to sell me 99-cent a pound chicken that was grown here but processed there. How old is that chicken by the time I get it?
Yeah.
Y'all trying to make Twinkie chickens? They're going to last forever? That's interesting. So what is the answer? A lot of people ask me that. I tell Little House on the Prairie. That's the answer. I know you don't like to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that, right? Oh, we can fix it. They got more money than us. Way more. Way more. Even if I could get an audience with Biden himself, first of all, the lights on, ain't nobody fucking home. And he's already been paid more than I can pay him, hasn't he? Yeah. So if people don't realize that concept, right, that's fine. You don't have to. You're going to find out real quick. Plus, Mother Nature is sick of our shit, Penny. We've had earthquakes left and right in California. There's a few people out there, like little baby Nostradamuses, if you will, seers, that are saying that there's something bad coming. Major earthquakes. Like bad, and that it's going to change everything. And people's choices, right, affect a lot of people. So the people at the top that are making all these decisions for our food and our everything else are changing the energy of this planet. And when the energy goes too much the wrong way, what happens? It has to be corrected. So it's going to be corrected, but that might be bad for a lot of people. So learning how to protect yourself, build your immune system, right? We should be able to withstand any virus, right? We should be able to stand any bacteria, any fungus, but most people are so unhealthy. So that's the main thing people need to focus on right now, knowledge and health. Get your mind and your body right, and I hope your soul is strong, because watching your child be diagnosed and then almost die, not from cancer, but from failed chemotherapy and radiation, will damn near kill your soul. It will. And then you'll still have to dig deep and try to find something else or let them go, which will then haunt you forever. So start finding people that you can care about, that you want to care about, that want to care about you. It can't be a one-way street, Penny. Penny can't be the only one caring. Find people that want to care about you and that you want to care about too, and link up. We have got to get back to our people, Penny, tribes. That is how we survived, well, until Christopher Columbus got here and found us. But that's how we survived the longest out of any people, right? People think that the Romans and the Egyptians were like the longest. Ha ha ha! Did you know that they found, with the Vikings, our people, they found Native American women with the Vikings?
Yeah.
Now, whether they went, agreeably or not, we don't know. But let's just say that they did go agreeably. That means we were here longer than them.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to address it because we're the most powerful people. The Native Americans were besides the Egyptians. They were on that side of the world. We were on this side. We were the most powerful, and that's how we were able to accomplish so much, right? So imagine if everybody taps back into who are you? Where do you come from? You came from a people, and you have all their blood flowing through you, all their lessons, right? Everyone talks about generational curses. What about the blessings? Y'all don't want to talk about. Nobody talks about that. My great 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 grandma was the medicine woman of our tribe. Thanks, Grandma. Appreciate that. Right? Do you see what I'm saying?
We have a lot in common. We really do.
People have got to find those things.
Feel it. Yeah.
Find those things, right? Find out who you are, right? Find out where your people come from, what were their gifts, because if their blood is running through you, right? In fact, I'm waiting to find the last of the Spartans. Where y'all at? Where y'all at? Caca! Right? Did y'all watch that movie, The Woman King? You should watch it if you didn't. Oh, girl. Oh, those are our people. Where are the rest of them from that bloodline? We're all still here, right? Very few bloodlines were eradicated. So we're all here, dormant. Wake the fuck up, people. Wake up for who you truly are, right? Are you a healer? Are you a hunter? Are you a gatherer, right? Do you read stars? Can you see storms coming? Do you know how to fight war? Do you know how to make peace? All these things are important, because when it comes down to it, Penny, I promise you, you would rather be a warrior in a garden that knows how to control themselves than to be a gardener in a war.
Yeah.
Promise.
Yeah, and I hope that us just talking about this kind of stuff, with doing this show, that people will feel more comfortable to talk about their gifts, because a lot of people just don't. They have a sense that they're here to do something, but they don't know what it is, and they don't, but it's a gift. You have gifts, everyone does, and you just need to know that and learn to tap into that.
Yep, and get rid of all those anchors, right? Well, my mama used to say I was stupid. Well, where's she at now?
Right.
You want to go have a talk with her? Because I'll tell her, right? Yeah. Oh, well, people have said I'm dumb. My teacher said my this, my that. Giving your power away all the time. All the time, all the time. Well, so-and-so said I can't ever be nothing. Who the fuck is so-and-so? And really, what are they doing right now?
Yeah.
Somebody told you something 30 fucking years ago, so you believed it. You took that shit to heart, and you're never going to be anything because Mrs. Jones from 3rd grade said you ain't shit.
Yeah.
Where is she now? She's probably dead, not thinking about you, but you're thinking about her. So you've got to get rid of those things. My parents abused me. My parents this, my parents that. Who gives a fuck? Where are they at now? You still live with them? They're still right there in your ear? Start telling yourself who you are, who you want to be. Write it on a Post-it and put it everywhere to where no matter what, it's filling, overflowing your subconscious and conscious mind. Because when you see something, you naturally read it, don't you?
Yeah.
You know how many times since I've been sitting here, I've accidentally read this?
Yeah.
Because as soon as you see it, your mind wants to get it. So you can trick yourself. You can train yourself to do anything you want. Anything. That's what's the most amazing thing. And we're all only operating on a very small percentage of this. Start feeding it brain food. Blueberries, real chocolate, walnuts, right? Start feeding your brain. Feed your mind, body, and soul. Get rid of the things you know are not meant for you. And start learning, right? Everybody on this planet is valuable in some way. And at the end of it all, knowledge is the one thing that nobody can take from you. And your pride.
Yeah.
Your worth. Now, if you're willing to give it to somebody, you can, huh? But don't, right? We can all be learning from everybody that's gone through this. There's so many epilepsy parents out there that changed the world for all those people and told them what to do, how to do it. We can all do that.
Yeah.
If you have fibromyalgia, if you have lupus, if you have anything and you are working on it and getting good results, tell people. There's a lot of suffering, y'all. And it's only because everybody's, well, I don't want to bother nobody. Well, I'm scared or I'm embarrassed, so I don't want to tell anybody. Doesn't help anyone. Doesn't help anybody. We have got to be willing to share with each other what's working and not working. We've lost a lot of people in 10 years because of some of it curveball, some of it learning, having to learn new things, and some of it was just because people wouldn't listen.
I mean,
I'm not sure which one of those hurt the worst.
A lot of times I hate when I'm trying to help someone and then, like they're interested in something natural, but then they have all their family forcing them to go the other way. And now I just simply say, it's your life. You're the one that's going to die, not them. So you make the decision. And I mean, but that happens so many times.
There
People
was
are
a kid, his name is Colton Turner. Y'all should look him up. He's awesome. He came to Colorado from Illinois. He had Crohn's disease as a kid. So bad, like it was killing him, right? And he started, telling a story, him and his parents, this and that. One of the best things that this kid ever said was, I'd rather be illegally alive than legally dead.
Yeah.
And he was a kid, right? Going through all of this and them telling him he was going to die. And not a small child like Landon. He was a teenager or, adolescent into teenager throughout all of this. He's in remission now. So just imagine if he would have listened to them, or if my son did hear it all. I'm just going to die. 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 And it affected him greatly to where now I try to tell these people, you need to step out of the room. Just because your kid is sick or 2 years old, they can fucking hear you. Yeah. And they're listening. So if we can all tell ourselves, right, that the laws of men are not made for us. We need to change them. If that's a bad law, fucking break it, right? Most people, Penny, do not know who their senator or congressman is. They don't know who their mayor is. They don't know who their city council is. When really I'd love to ask them, you have so many opinions on how to change the world. Why the fuck aren't you on it? Yeah. You have so many opinions and ideas about how to clean up your little town. Why the fuck aren't you on city council? You ain't never even been to the building, so you just must be a chatty motherfucking Kathy. Because that ain't going to do it. You've got to show up, talk to these people. Those are the people that change things. Get involved. But everybody says how bad everything is here, but nobody gets up and does anything. Yeah. And there's so much that can be done, so much. And we're not the only people, right? There are literally so many groups of people now that are getting help from cannabis and trying to tell their stories, right? I was telling you, I've been spending time with an ex-NFL player that he was played for 6 years, I believe, or longer, and had a lot of issues because of it, and from getting hit and just all, and not only that, the emotional part, he posted a thing that said, being a professional athlete, over 1 million people a year come into your life and fucking abandon you.
That's bad.
So can you imagine how we feel? We've had people come in and use and abuse us. Can you imagine on that level?
Yeah.
And you just have to keep going and getting hit and getting all these drugs, right? And it's go, 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 push, 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 right? And then once they're done, they end up with brain damage, Penny. They end up with degenerating brains, back problems, all this stuff. And then they try to tell them, oh, it was just a game. You ain't even that hurt. They have a disability thing like the military does, where they have to have all these points. And I'm all, really? That's crazy as hell that they don't want to pay them. They don't want to pay for their aftercare.
Right.
And this man has actually created a nonprofit and centers for them to help to do it. He created a CBD company very early on, just like I did, trying to help them, because he ended up in a bad way to the point he had to go to a facility for a whole year. He's actually standing right there.
Oh.
But he just woke up and everything, so I'm not going to bother.
Oh, he's like,
But just
nah.
imagine to be that famous, have that much money coming in, that many people wanting you, wanting to be around you, wanting to have something to do with you, and still abuse you, and abandon you, and you have health problems. So then they're like, you're just mad that you don't play football. And he's like, I got holes in my brain like Swiss cheese.
8 years.
8 years?
2.5 years is the average year for an average lifespan. 2.5 years.
2.5 years, he says, is the average lifespan for his position.
Wow. Wow, that's crazy.
And you know what's crazy about this? I had no idea. I told him, I said, because he created all these different products, right? And it was funny because it reared its ugly head. And thankfully, I have learned and processed through this, right? But he showed me one of his products, and it said 5 milligrams per capsule. And I just looked at him and I let it come out, right? Because when it comes up, I got to let it out or then I won't. And I said, back in the day, my son took 500 fucking milligrams. He would have had to, if I would have saw this in a dispensary and you were there, I would have pinged you in the fucking head like Tom Brady.
Right.
Right? You sorry sack of shit. You already told me I didn't have cancer. Not everybody has cancer, Sierra. And I was like, I know that now.
Right.
But I was going to die on that hill. I was going to die. He wants to go potty, I think. I was going to die on that hill. It affected me so badly that the only thing I could see was children with cancer.
Yeah.
So much so that I only in the beginning helped kids. And then people started saying I was ageist because I refused to help adults. But I'm all, help yourself. What do you mean? Nobody's helping these kids. And they're all like, Sierra, like nobody will help us either. And I'm all, is this true? Is it true? Is nobody really helping y'all? And then I went and looked. Nobody's helping anybody with cancer, are they? Dispensaries? Nope. Growers? Sometimes. Caregivers? Always. Always. And that's what I've always been. So imagine that even people like him, I never even knew that side of it exists. And that not only that, it's crazy to me. So y'all did all this to these really big, really strong men and messed up and then set them out on the wild to come run into me.
Right.
That's awful. That's awful. That is awful, right? And I'm just sitting here like, how could you be a Tom Brady, so beloved, and nobody understands? He's going through a divorce right now. Boy, howdy. Chris Angel, the second David Copperfield, right? His son had leukemia. He's relapsed. He's on his second journey right now. It don't matter who you are. It don't matter what you do. It don't matter how famous you are, how much money you have. None of it. Sickness, disease, trauma, damages will happen to us all. and we have to come together and figure it out. He created this facility where other people go, and he told his story. That was the number one thing. And he's got these interviews with other NFL players, and they say, you know, Boo, if it wasn't for you telling your story, I wouldn't have either, because it was embarrassing, right? Everybody thinks we're these big, strong men and these athletes, and we can push through anything. And I was about to put a bullet in my head. Probably my wife and kids too. And that has happened before. So boxers too, right? So imagine if he's trying to do research for them and he knows how bad it is. And so now he's trying to help children that are wanting to go into the NFL to be like, hey, let me tell y'all what happened to me.
Right.
Right.
Good.
Protect yourselves. He's trying to get it to where they can all take CBD, right? Really trying to move that dial of humanity. And not only that, how many players?
6,500.
There's 6,500 players in the NFL.
Wow. That's a lot.
That's a lot. But honestly, I was thinking about it. You know, when you see them on the TV, right? And their whole sideline is covered in them.
Yeah, 32 teams.
There's so many on the field. Hey, Ryder, will you please get him? Ryder, they don't want to be your friend. So imagine, right, that's a lot of people that are hurting, that are getting hit.
That's every year. It's guys rotating in and rotating out every year. There's guys retiring every year.
Yep, and coming on. There's people retiring every year, and the draft happens every year.
Yeah, so
it's a revolving door, and they're mean to them, and they don't want them to take cannabis, right? So we're not the only ones suffering. Everybody is.
they had
Everyone.
If you look up race norming, they had a thing called race norming where they said the black players' brains and bodies were damaged more than the white players coming into the NFL. So that's why white players were getting their benefits more than black players. And it's a 78% league of black players.
Oh yeah, Penny. Don't worry. He'll come on your next one. He's gonna blow y'all's mind. Cause I was sitting here. I was like, bro, you're like me. You're just going down the hill of you. I had no idea because I was so engulfed in pediatric cancer, right? And it's a good hill to die on, right? But guess what? I don't have to die on any hill. I can hop on the hills, right? I can hill hop. Right?
Yeah.
Everybody matters. Everybody's important. Everybody deserves access to this plant at an affordable, successful rate. Yep. True Leaf can kiss my ass. I'm so upset since I've been here in Florida and found out about all their bullshit. And now, get this, girl, they are lobbying. True Leaf put up $1 million to lobby to have minor cannabinoids banned in Florida. So,
Really?
CBG, CBN, Delta 8. Right? Well, guess what? All those companies, right, to where only they can come from the dispensary through the tracked and traced metric program, right? All those dispensaries were like, all right, in 1 week between all those owners from Delta 8, CBD companies, right? All of them, they raised $1 million to fight them. It's going down in Florida. We the people.
That's because Kim from True Leaf, it really ain't been, Kim just a face right now, but it really was her husband. Her husband was the one that did all that. And they started their first dispensary in my hometown, Tallahassee, Florida. And the thing was, how can I know where I'm from. There's never ever been a drug dealer in the history I know of that can do what they did and still keep all their money and their assets. I've never seen that before in my life.
Yeah, her husband literally was convicted and is doing 4 years Fed time for paying off the people in Florida to make the laws to where True Leaf won. And again, they just opened their 100th dispensary, so it sounds like he did a good job.
Well, he signed the business over to her.
Yeah.
And then he married her. So
Martha Stewart, that shit. So imagine.
So she wouldn't have to take
How come they didn't get shut down?
But this is what I told him. I told him like this. I said, you can have your dispensaries. I'm doing research. This should have changed the game of sports medicine. So you can have your dispensaries and you can do all that you want to do through Florida. But when it comes to research, we're changing the game. So if anything and all this shit falls down, guess who's still gonna be standing? Medical.
Exactly. Because again, we the people, well, we allow them to do recreational and everything because we believe everybody should have access. But if it comes down to it, we will all band together for medical and force them to ban recreational because they're not going to put that over us.
There's no such thing as recreational.
Yeah, there is no such thing, right? Just like alcohol, right? If you want to do it, great. Smoking cigarettes, if you want to do it, great. We don't say anything about any of those things, right? But cannabis is the number one, and it's because of that reefer madness bullshit, right? And if nobody has ever actually seen the reefer madness, y'all should go watch it.
Right.
That will answer so many questions you have about why people feel the way they do about cannabis. And it was wild that they did that.
Has she seen what happened in the NBA yet? NBA players now, as of last week, NBA players now can use cannabis. They can be in commercials and invest in the cannabis industry.
Wow.
So
that shit's about to get lit. We're about to see Michael Jordan weed.
And in Major League Baseball.
So, but how come the NFL isn't?
Because it's a thing of control. It's a thing of, I can tell you this right now.
Isn't it funny?
I want you to look at something.
You know what else he told me? Again, I'll schedule with you so that you can get on with him. He told me, so he owns a nonprofit, right, that does a lot. When I tell you they do the hurricane relief, like they don't leave when the hurricanes hit. They stay. And they go help get the people out, take them food, water. He has contracts with Walmart. They drop shit off, right, everything. And he stays and helps, rebuilds, refurnishes, right? This is his home. And he said that, during when they're playing or anything, they're only allowed to wear like their nonprofit or their brand's shoes or anything. What'd you say? One time?
One time out of the year.
One time a year.
And this with everybody.
Because the NFL knows that when they see him right on there, they're gonna go look it up and buy it. They don't want that. They want them to buy the NFL shoes.
Well, the thing is, every player got a contract, either Nike or Adidas or whatever. But your signature shoe will say your nonprofit.
Isn't that crazy? Like.
Yeah,
why would they not want them to be doing good in their communities? Again, I'm telling you, meeting him and been doing all that blew my mind. I was all, why would they not want y'all to do good things, right? Why would they not want people to buy stuff from you that supports your nonprofit that then helps people when there's hurricanes or anything else?
Because you know why? Because when players get ready to say, I want to stand up for something, then the thing is, if they see a whole bunch of players every week have signature shoes on with all of their nonprofit organizations, the NFL and people will look stupid saying these players could not stand up for anything because look at all the work they do around the country helping people. So if I'm doing all this work around the country helping people, how you going to tell me shut up? What you doing?
And the NFL don't really do a lot. Yeah, they're a nonprofit. They make a lot.
They use the players.
Yeah, they do.
You have in your contract where you have to have so many appearances with your team for the NFL per year. So every player has to go to, like, say, for instance,
that's awful,
the team is doing a fundraiser. The player.
I feel like this is pimping. Modern day pimping.
Modern day
Right.
slavery.
That's all it really is.
No, if you see how the draft is and how
I didn't want to use the word slavery.
No,
you did.
No, because the thing is, if you see how they do the draft and how they draft players, they have us all on a line on a wall, and every player has on his boxers, and that's it. And they call you up on the stage
what?
with your number. Yeah, with your numbers attached to your leg, and they have you up on the stage.
You like a cattle?
And they have all the coaches and all the scouts in the audience, and they have you up on the stage, and the guy says, "Okay, wingspan," and you hold your arms out, and they tell you wingspan, they tell you neck size, they tell you waist size.
That's so weird.
And after they finish all that, guess what you do afterwards? You do all the testing, so they see how fast you run, how high you jump, how all this type of stuff that you do, and then have a day where they draft you.
That's crazy. Wow. Well, I can't wait for you to. I'll get you scheduled with her because you're going to blow their minds with all this. I mean that.
It's like the cow auction.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. But for sports, which, yeah, y'all can get into all that. I won't keep you guys too much longer. I know we've been on here for a minute. But, again, just, that right there just shows you guys everybody has a valuable story.
Yeah.
Everybody. And even if you are just a mom like me, I was just a mom. I didn't play for the NFL. I'm not a doctor. I wasn't a ballerina. I wasn't even a cheerleader. Okay, I was just a mom. Every one of us has a valuable story. And my son's story changed the world because I was willing to do this. And you can too. Everybody watching this can. So if you got to practice in the mirror, do that, right? Just start being willing to tell your story. That's how we change it. That's how we make these people to understand that we, the people, want this plan, right? And that they cannot keep forcing us to go this way, or you can have it, but it's only in this way. No. We should all be growing it freely and trading it with each other, helping each other with recipes, right? That's how it's supposed to be. So I just really, that's the number one thing that I implore people. A, take care of yourself. Prevention, right? Eat right, do right. Tell your story. Those two things, we could change the world, y'all.
Well, I'll tell you, I appreciate you coming back, and I look forward to you being back many times because we have so many topics to hit. And thanks for chiming in, and we appreciate hearing some of your tidbits. But boy, that's going to be interesting, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah. You can get my number from Sarah. And like I said, you can just all you do is Google Boo Williams Saints, and you'll see everything right behind it. We do a lot of work in the community across the country. Do 78,000 miles every year across the country. Do a lot of caregiving through my nonprofit. So we stop at children's hospitals, homeless shelters, women's shelters, and mainly we do a lot of women's shelters too because people tend to forget about the women's shelters because they need all the essentials that people really don't think about every day. And so we do a lot of that. We take water to Flint, Michigan because they don't have water. So we do a lot of different things around the country through the cannabis community. And so we teach people that, what I'm saying, it's not all about just, producing products and stuff like that and getting people what they need, but it's also giving back to them too because they are spending money. So that's our way of putting money and putting things back into the community.
That's awesome. You're doing some good things, it sounds like. Do you have, you said to Google, we can Google you, but do you have, what's the name of your nonprofit? Do you have a website?
Boo Berry Cares. That's BOOBEARY Cares with a K. Boo Berry Cares.
Perfect. I'm definitely going to check it out, and I suggest everyone does. So thanks for joining us, everybody. Chime in. We would love to hear from you. I love you, girl.
Yeah.
I know you're so busy with your life right now. So just, when things settle down, hit me up and we'll get you back on. And blessings for your new journey. I'm excited for you.
I appreciate that so much. I really do. And you guys can follow Landon's story on Instagram at Team Landon and Cannabis, or Facebook, Offer Up for Landon. Always more than willing to help anybody that needs help. I do all types of consultations and things like that to help people get where they need to be. And you guys can find all of our products at CBD for all written out. .org. And I appreciate you, Penny. It's important to bring people together and help people to understand that their stories do matter, and we can all do something to move that dial of humanity forward.
Yeah, we are doing it. We're doing
I'm
it.
trying.
So join us live here, guys, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Stay tuned. Mwah.
Bye.
Bye.